Today, what I want to start out by talking to you about is how to create a more people-centered workplace culture. And maybe I'll just start out by asking, how many people would say that they work with an organization or for an organization that is truly focused on people first? Okay, that is fantastic. How many of you would say that that is the norm? No one? Oh, really? Okay. So what's amazing about that is this idea of a people-centered organization. Organizations that put their people at the center of their strategy. In my experience as well, there are some, and it's so amazing, and I hope I get to connect with you and hear your stories, but it isn't the norm. And what I want to share with you today is not only why I think it should be the norm, because I think human beings should be the center of our strategy and organizations to be able to be effective and achieve the things that we want to do, but not only that, I think that it's important for us and our human evolution and enabling us to be able to also enjoy our work and get more out of everything that we do. To start this off, I want to share with you a story about Mariette. In 1927, J.W. and Alice Mariette started with a 9-stool pop shop in Washington, D.C. And I believe that they were pioneers for creating people-centered cultures, because what they realized, as important it was for them to be able to, as early pioneers, entrepreneurs, to be able to get results, as important as they saw their clients, they realized that the most important people to them were actually those people that worked for them. And Alice created a little sign that they had in the back office, and their business mantra in 1927 was, if we take care of our people, in other words, if we take care of our staff, they will take care of our clients, and business will take care of itself. Now you can say, well, that's pretty nice, that's easy, 1927, a small little 9-stool pop shop, how hard can it be? Then the Depression hit. Most organizations, certainly a pop shop, did not do very well. They did not let any of their people go. In fact, they invested in their people, and they brought a doctor on board, on staff, to be able to make sure, because they again knew if our people aren't healthy, even though they didn't have that many employees, they would not be able to take care of their clients, and that would not be good for business. Now again, you could say, now Marriott, that was like small early days. Now Marriott is 700,000 people. They are the largest hotel chain in the world. Now recently with their merger with Starwood Industries, can they still have that kind of business philosophy? And in our experience, this is Arne Sorensen, who is the current CEO of Marriott. And what was really interesting is in our conversations and talking to them, this still is their simple philosophy, taking care of our people as a core business strategy. It's not just about being nice. It's actually because it makes business sense. And just relatively recently, 9/11, when the towers came down and the global travel industry basically went to a standstill, their hotel occupancy rate went from 75% to 5% overnight. And again, what do you do from a business perspective? And at that point, they had shareholders which were looking at them saying, what are you going to do? And 90% of their employees are hourly employees. They're the cleaners, the bellhops, the front desk staff. And they had to reduce their hours. They didn't want to let go of people because they knew eventually things would come back together. But what did they do? And Bill Mariette, in a meeting, said, even though now our people are no longer working enough hours to be able to get benefits, we have to change the rules. We have to take care of our people. And after that, and you can imagine hopefully it makes a lot of sense, after that their engagement scores went through the roof, and they continue to see some of the most enviable engagement scores in the industry. So this idea of how important it is to take care and focus on our people. And this is really interesting because from an industry trend in the last number of years, there's been so much focus on quarterly results and shareholder wealth, and I believe not enough focus on employee health and employee well-being. And we're now seeing, and I think this is very inspiring, is this is becoming, though, a global movement. People are figuring out organizations, in addition to Marriott, they're not alone. Organizations like Starbucks and LinkedIn, Southwest Airlines, and Accenture are also starting to realize this, it shouldn't be that unlogical to be able to understand the connection. But what's the big change that we've seen, and many of you probably experienced this, is that there is something that's also changed recently in terms of the workforce. Specifically in terms of the next generation of employees, they are actually coming to work and they're saying, we want more than just a paycheck. We're actually looking for meaning. We're looking for connection. We're looking for a sense of purpose. And some of you can say, well, oh, that's those millennials. You know what? All of us want those things. Is there anybody in this room that doesn't want to have meaning and purpose in their job and feel a sense of satisfaction? Good. So this idea of what it takes then, and this was really what we've seen over the last number of years, and we wanted to really understand. So if this is so obvious and it makes so much business sense, what organizations, and specifically, what are leaders doing to really engage their people and to be able to create more people-centered cultures? And we started off by assessing it, and initially the results, and I'll tell you, it wasn't that pretty. What we found is that there's really a leadership crisis, not only in this country, but around the globe. Many of you will probably be familiar with engagement scores. We know that only 13% of the global workforce is engaged, 24% is actively disengaged. That's basically like if you had a 100-person organization and your organization was rowing a boat, you have 13 people at the front madly going stroke, 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 a bunch of people in the middle that are kind of dipping in and out, and 24 people at the back going stroke, stroke, stroke in the opposite direction. In addition to that, there was a study that found 65% of employees would forgo a pay raise to see their leader fired. That is not good. That is not a people-centered culture. Something's really wrong there. In addition to that, and there's a real disconnect, there was a McKinsey study that found that 77% of leaders thought they were doing a really good job of engaging their people. 82% disagree. Now, this is all despite $46 billion that is spent on training and developing leaders. And so what we wanted to do in Potential Project is we wanted to get behind this and actually find out what it takes to be able to create more people-centric cultures. What is the leadership that we need? What are the qualities that we need? And we started out in a journey in search for evidence-based leadership. We partnered with Harvard Business Review Press, an amazing partner, and with them we were able to survey over 35,000 leaders from 72 countries. We interviewed over 250 C-suite executives. We engaged with many of our global clients that you can see there. And we also had amazing discussions with leading researchers looking at it from a neurological perspective. And what we found was that basically there are 3 core qualities that leaders need today to be able to bring more engagement, more effectiveness, and more basically humanity into their leadership, into their organizations. And those qualities are mindfulness, selflessness, and compassion.